Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. I've got Cam back in the chair. We're going to do a quick video about James Maddison joining the club, potential Harry Kane leaving. So be sure to listen to this video because we're going to talk about a lot of things. So, Cam, give us your thoughts about James Maddison, or as I coined it, Cam Maddison, Cam and Maddison joining the
I
club. What's your thoughts on it for 40 million?
Well, I think personally, seeing what's going on in England, seeing what's going on in Saudi Arabia, I think it's an excellent buy. I think he could have gone to any club in the Premier League. What I hear what a lot of people say about Madison. I hear what you just said about Madison and about his injuries. But with his injuries last season, I think he lost nearly half the season through injuries for Leicester. He scored 10 goals and assisted, probably 9 assists in a very poor Leicester team that were ended up being relegated. We paid 50 million for Richarlison, who scored 1 goal and probably had about 2 or 3 assists, was offside nearly about 3,000 million times, and fell over when someone in the crowd booed. So compared to that, this must be a genius buy by Spurs, a genius buy. And 50 million for Ndombele. Ndombele probably in this all the time he's been with us hasn't scored 10 goals and 9 assists, I would say. Maybe he has. I mean, this is a completely, given where we've put our money before, it's the first time since the signing of Eriksen that I've seen us actually sign somebody who actually gets me a bit excited.
Well, I was just going to ask you, how do you think he compares to Christian Eriksen? Is he in the same class as Eriksen, or is it class below Eriksen, a class above Eriksen? What's your thoughts on that?
But really, really good question. It's a very interesting thing that's going to happen. My view is in terms of assists, probably Eriksen is better. I think in terms of seeing the pass and the pinpoint accuracy of his ball when he was on the top of his game, nobody could touch Eriksen, and that's where it got us where it is. In terms of goal scoring ability, then I think Maddison is better. And I think if you're assuming that Kane and Son are going to be there, and you'd hope that we will talk about Kulusevski as a new signing. If Decky is going to be there, you would hope that Maddison behind those three or would be a complete game changer.
And also, what do you think about in terms of corner kicks, free kicks? We've actually got specialists now that can actually take proper free kicks, haven't we?
Well, I mean, everyone at Spurs thinks they can take a free kick, but none of them could score goals from free kicks. I can't remember the last time we had a goal from a free kick. I mean, teams do not mind giving Spurs a free kick out of the box because they know that's going to be a goal kick. They know it's going to be a goal kick. You play against Real Madrid with Ronaldo, or you play against Southampton, for example, with James Ward-Prowse, or some of the other teams, or Manchester City. You don't want to be giving away free kicks outside of the box because, it's 50-50 chance they're going to get a goal. With Spurs, it's 100% chance you're going to get the ball back. It's like getting a back pass to the goalkeeper. So it's about time that dynamic changes. I really would like to see Maddison on free kicks, and I think he's had some crackers. But, I mean, yeah, it could be a game changer for Spurs. And it will also frighten the other teams and change their tactics when they play against us.
But the pessimist in me says, well, Maddison gets injured and we're back to square one. Do we need to sign more players to back up Maddison, or do you think we're done now in the creative midfield space?
We need to start getting rid of some players, Ray. We need to start seeing some of that crap.
Who do we need to get rid of?
Ndombele, Lo Celso. I mean, Gill. Do we want to keep Gill? Do we want to keep Gill?
He's a Europa Cup winner.
He's a Europa Cup winner. Lo Celso's almost a World Cup winner.
Potentially World Cup winner.
And Ndombele's a Scudetto winner. So what the hell does that all mean? Because when it comes to Spurs, they're absolutely crap. We need a rejuvenated midfield. I also think that for Tottenham, having a homegrown player, a British player, an English player, does a lot. That helps us by, firstly, having a homegrown talent is always a good thing, but it also helps us with the balance of the team. I think it will be more interesting for Kane to play with someone like Maddison. I think he'll be much happier with that. But I mean, we say we want to sign more. I would replace Ndombele, Lo Celso, and Gill, all three of them, with James Ward-Prowse in one tomorrow. Would you?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think James Ward-Prowse is a great player, really good player.
Better than all three of them put together.
Yeah, better than all three of them. Before we forget, let me ask you what you think about the new goalkeeper we got from Empoli. I can't pronounce. What's his name? Vicario. What do you think about him?
I have no idea. I'll be brutally honest with you. I have absolutely no idea. All I know is that maybe Inter Milan wanted him to replace their goalkeeper. I don't know if he left. He was seen as one of the most up-and-coming goalkeepers. He's made the bench for the Italian national team. So there must be something there. The pessimist in me says Golini. But, I mean, can anybody be as bad as Golini?
No, I don't think
Only
so.
person I can think was worse than Golini was bloody, what's his name, went to Celtic, our English goalkeeper.
Yeah, Joe Hart.
Joe Hart,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
So
we covered this
now,
in a
I mean,
previous.
I'm excited. I think that the days of Lloris are over. I mean, Lloris shouldn't have been there this season, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
Last
I
season.
mean, we discussed it in a previous video, but I think Inter Milan were going to sign him, but because they thought they were going to sell Onana to Man United,
Yeah.
that didn't go through. So they didn't have the funds to buy him. So Tottenham got in there. So it's a good bit of business. Let's move on now. As I said to everybody, we're going to talk about, before we finish, we're going to talk about Harry Kane and the latest bid from Bayern, which reportedly 70 million plus add-ons. What is going on here? Apparently, Kane has agreed personal terms as well. And Cam, what's your analysis of the situation?
My analysis of the situation is that he won't be sold for less than 110 million. If they don't come up with that, he's not going to go. Because look, 70 million. We spent 50 million on Richarlison. We got one goal back for 50 million. We sold Richarlison tomorrow. We'd be lucky to get 10 million, right? So that's 40 million for one goal. So let's use that as a statistic. Kane will score, let's say, 25 goals, right? At 40 million a goal, that to
1
you
billion.
is a billion pounds.
It doesn't work that way, though. You know that. But
Of
anyway,
course
yeah.
it doesn't work that way. Of course it doesn't work that way. But who are you going to get that we've been able to get that can score those goals? So for 70 million, they will say, well, might as well keep him for 30 goals, The problem is, though, Ray, is that when this whole Manchester City happened season before last, it took Kane at least 3 to 4 months to get his head back. If that happens, then it's over, isn't it? I think this is different. I think potentially if they get an offer over 100 million, he'll go. The question is what happens next to the team, because do you think that Richarlison can fill those shoes?
No, I don't think he can. I think we need another striker. The thing is, everybody
How do you
kept
get
saying,
another striker when you got that bozo sitting on the bloody team?
well, they all said that Daniel Levy won't sell to a Premier League rival. So this narrative fits quite well about selling to Bayern Munich. The only question is whether they're going to come up with the cash. They need a striker. They haven't got anybody. I don't know who their striker was, but Lewandowski's left. They haven't got anybody there. They've got a new Oliver Kahn and Salihamidzic have been fired, so they've got new people in there. So potentially this could happen. It's one to keep an eye out for anyway. But one thing we shouldn't forget about is Harry Winks is going in the other direction back to Leicester. So just give us an epitaph on Harry Winks and his Tottenham days.
I liked Harry. I thought that sometimes he looked absolutely world class, and other times he
That
looked
game
like
against Real Madrid, he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
yes, and other times he looked like a League One player. I mean, it's unfathomable how they can go up and down like that. But I suppose everyone has good days and off days. I think unfortunately he probably had more off days than good days. But if he could have maintained even 60% of the form that he showed against Real Madrid, he'll still be playing every week in, week out for Spurs. I wish him the best, and I hope he gets them promoted. I mean, Harry Winks has been with Spurs right from the day one, right? He deserves everything good to come his way, I believe, because he's been a loyal Spurs player, fan, and everything.
Okay, excellent, Cam. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for listening to the Spurs 9501 podcast. We'll see you again on the next podcast, and come on, you Spurs.
Yes, come on, you Spurs.